Our friend react to Halle Bailey is accusing DDG of physical abuse.
Ex-couple at this point, DDG and Halle Bailey have caught themselves at the front page of the news last night and this morning after Halle Bailey accused DDG of doing some of the most craziest things in the world, leading off with things like physical violence and filing a restraining order on DDG. All this culminates to DDG
I ain't gonna lie, I seen somewhere though it was like, if DDG was actually beating on women, it would have been came out.
And that is make content talking about his son. Halle Bailey allegedly accused DDG of breaking into the home, sending her a photo from underneath the bed to imply cheating, verbally abusing her, destroying her Ring camera, throwing her phone out of his car, inciting fans against her during live streams, and creating a threatening environment around their son. Now, this is a serious matter, so obviously I'm going to take this as serious as possible, and I'm going to read off the things that DDG has alleged to have done in the situation. She, Halle Bailey, also alleges DDG creeped her out in March when he showed up at her home, entered without permission, went to her bedroom, and texted a pic of Halle's empty bed to her, along with a text, "Now I know what you've been on, LOL." Halle says she interpreted the text as DDG accusing her of having sex with other people. This goes on to read, 4 days later, she claims he really exploded when he came back to her house. Halle told him she and the baby were sick. This is around the time that her and the baby were laid up and DDG could not see the baby, and she didn't want Halo to leave home. And she claims that when he got verbally abusive, smashed her Ring cam and ran away with Halle's phone. As he drove off, she claims DDG threw the phone out the window and yelled to her, "Go get it." The incident prompted Halle to go file a police report, and she says she also has Ring footage to back up her side.
He's gonna sue it.
Now, these are a lot of damning allegations, all stemming from a relationship gone awry. You know, that situation where there's two people that were broken up.
Show the Ring camera footage.
Fighting back and forth. All this is like really disgusting, but also very common. That Ring camera footage though, Daryl, if she has that Ring camera footage, Daryl, you're cooked, Daryl. Halle Bailey had seemingly been documenting a lot of the conversations and situations that have been happening for a long time, dating back to their breakup in October.
Why would she even say that? She was recording
some of these incidents and piling them up in order to, I don't know, build a case or give DDG some of the benefit of the doubt or whatever the case may be before she went to the police with the restraining order. Now, again, all this is what's being stated in the documentation. All this at this given time is alleged in what she claims. There is apparently some evidence that will come out at some point or will be submitted, and at that point we'll be able to make better judgments. Right now, these are just all allegations and what's being reported to the police. And see, this is why
why the hell? I ain't gonna lie, if DDG over here beating on bitches, I ain't gonna lie. Is it still, bro? Like, if he over here beating on, like, he can never say he won that beef with Bruce, bro.
Kids, I never date with somebody who has a child under the age of 5 years old. They still got so much going on.
Isn't it got an relationship
that is unresolved? But that's another story for another day. Further in the TMZ article, it reads,
"In Doc, is this a fucking error? Why the camera switch like this?
5 years old. They still got so much going on in that past relationship that is unresolved. But that's another story for another day." Further in the TMZ article, it reads, "In Doc, she claims things first got physical in January. They broke up back in October, and Halle says DDG came over to pick up their son Halo, and she tried to start a conversation with the rapper. If that's true,
DDG, don't ever say DOK again."
I think what doesn't help DDG in a lot of these situations is that a lot of this has been for public consumption over the past couple of months. It seems like if these situations are true and as how they are described, these situations will happen, and then DDG will either go to stream or maybe even before stream have some sort of conversation alluding to a lot of these situations that are being laid out in these documentations. As she was buckling Halo into the car seat, she claims DDG grew agitated and repeatedly said, "Get out of my car." Halle says the baby was crying and she got nervous about DDG leaving with him in such an agitated state. That's when they allegedly started wrestling, with DDG pulling her hair, slamming her face on a steering wheel, and chipping her tooth. Halle says she was in pain and crying, and although that stopped the fighting, she was still worried about Halo. So she remained in the car for the ride over to DDG's house, where she told his family what happened. Once they told her they would take care of the baby. She left hysterically with bruises on her arm to accompany her chipped tooth. She attached photos of her injuries in her request for restraining order. The judge granted a domestic violence restraining order requiring DDG to stay 100 yards and gave her
don't ever say DDG again.
Halo to Italy while she'll be filming a
say
movie for 2
DDG
weeks.
again.
DDG also has to stop posting or streaming about her and their child. Halle claims her ex has been whipping his fans into a frenzy by trashing her when he live streams. Now, we've seen how that last statement played across a couple months ago, where DDG came to the internet and basically spilled all of this tea for the past couple of months for his fans to then make assumptions, make commentary videos like we did on this channel, make streaming clips and all this other stuff, and essentially galvanize his audience.
Every single day or every other day, I'm trying to see him. I'm trying to get him to come over or whatever. I never get him dropped off. I always go pick him up. I live far as shit, so I'm driving hours to go get him, and then I get there and I can't get him. I can't see him. My son is sick right now. I want to see my son. I want to hold my son. I want to, you know what I'm saying? I just want to comfort him. I want to put him in the shower, get some steam in his nose so he can feel better. I don't get the chance to do that. I get pinned against the wall, and then everything else is variables on why I can't see my son. It don't have nothing to do with me working, by the way. I'm not gonna air out her business, but me and her has not been together for a long time. Like, I don't know what it is, but it's been going on for a minute where I just never got on the internet and said nothing. I mean, I might like throw like little subliminals or some shit like that, but it's like, bro, like, I don't want to get on the internet.
Now, let me take a brief moment here to be very, very serious and very, very candid about stuff like this. This is why on this channel, especially when it comes to young families, when it comes to relationships, when it comes to people with their children involved like this, I don't like talking about stuff like this. I don't like giving my true opinions because it does not ultimately matter. There is so much that is being left out of the story. These people are going to make their own decisions. They have so much behind the scenes drama that we can't properly make an opinion, as if it's even our place or space to make an opinion about such topics. DDG said that he was leaving out stuff. I'm sure that there's stuff that Halle herself is even left out, whether it be for better or for worse. I do not know. But what I do not like is when people get across the internet, and maybe they have met her in some celebrity regards who are commenting on her, but maybe they haven't. I find it strange who has commented and who hasn't, which we'll talk about in a second, but I don't like commentating on this stuff because I know how
Bless you, thank you.
relationships can go. I know that people can do toxic things to each other, the most extreme things to each other, and then when you give your 2 cents in input, those people end up back in the arms of the person who is doing the most toxic things to them because of love or the bigger picture, like their children or whatever the case may be. All I'm saying is I don't really know this situation, and I'm not gonna sit here and judge it so harshly, make sweeping claims or indictments. There's damning evidence against Darrell if these pictures are lining up to be true or whatever the case.
Oh my God. No, Darrell. No, Darrell, no, you didn't. No, you didn't, Darrell. I ain't gonna lie. It's really no point of like beating on girls, bro.
Maybe so that's really harsh, but I'm not gonna
unless they try to find first
sweeping indictments, 'cause I just don't know, and it's clear that stuff is being left out of the story. Now, naturally, because DDG is the internet's guy, this news has made all of his internet friends and homeboys come to the stand for Darrell. They have had to come to the forefront and galvanize not only their audience but anybody else's audience who feels a certain way about these man versus women relationships, etc., and get them to just go against Halle. I've seen a lot of stuff that has gone against Halle.
Fuck. Bless you.
And this is from people who I would never even think would support Darrell.
Halle claims DDG. Oh boy. If they can't win the public narrative, they make the accusations. Oh my God.
I make fun of DDG all the time. I think he's stupid.
Who the fuck is this nigga?
But I don't think he's over here beating on his chick. And if he is, that's some pussy shit.
Yeah, he doesn't give
but,
vibes.
But he doesn't. Yeah, he doesn't give me woman beater vibes, bro. Be honest with y'all. And
who gives you woman beater vibes? If he smacked
the shit out of Ruby Rose, I doubt that he would smack the shit out of that chick. Because Ruby Rose is literally a thought. Big thought. And someone, I think Zia told a story one time of how she like yanked this chain and like it ripped and he didn't hit her after that. He wanted to, but he didn't. So if he could restrain himself there, DDG doesn't strike me as a woman beater. So.
Oh man. Wise words from a decent man. I didn't expect him to say that. Now I know that they're going to be the defenders in the conversation who are blindly following DDG's side or blindly following Halle's side, but I'm telling y'all, just sit back. At the end of this, you can make your judgments and indictments, but best believe that there's somebody playing some game somewhere, and we're going to find out who it is in no time. I was sent the video of DDG's reaction to the restraining order with Aiden Ross, and I thought to myself, I'm not gonna be shammed. I'm not gonna be flim-flammed.
But that can't even be real. That's the thing.
But don't even. But you remember we talked about last night? Fuck all that. Yo, stop these fake allegations. This is a father. This is a real person. It's a good human being.
Even, but I don't.
But hey, bro, we on stream, bro.
Come on, like I gotta be.
Just don't do it, bro. Come here.
Don't even make no
Fuck all that. That's my real friend. We're not gonna do no false shit to ruin the streets. He's a great human being. He does a lot for a lot of people. He's a man. He's a father, and we're gonna respect him. We're gonna love him. WDDG, and fuck anyone who got anything to say. Chad, DD is not gonna come on the stream. He's just gotta go handle what he's gotta handle. So all love to my brother. We will figure something out.
I like the hat though. I ain't gonna lie.
All love.
Like
now, from everything that I've read, the person who is getting the police restraining order filed against them has to be notified before the trial even commences. Like, say somebody were to file a restraining order on me. I'm not gonna find out after the situation happens. That's not how it works. If somebody were to go today and file a restraining order on me, I would be notified that, hey, there's a complaint, you need to come to court or whatever the case may be, but there's something out there against you that is saying that somebody wants a restraining order, and then we have the results. I think the idea was that it was a fake narrative that there is a restraining order or that he was doing these things, but it almost seemed as if DDG was surprised to get the news that this was even a possibility, but he knew. Look, this is why I'm saying stay out of it. I'm telling you, stay out of it. It doesn't line up. And now we're in the midst of the internet social media game where people are looking at Halle Bailey's text messages and tweets and the stuff that she submitted to the judge as far as evidence goes. This says that she took Halo to some sort of vacation island, Bahamas, with her sister, and Brent Faiyaz, even though there was some claims about, you know, Halle texting DDG that she wasn't with any other man, but then Brent Faiyaz was supposedly
what I gotta do
but even
DDG's hands on her.
As these text messages read, is that he got this off the internet and just wanted to verify that
to BD. Oh wow. She not gonna update that nigga contacts to Darrell Granberry. I ain't gonna lie, that's one of the ugliest last names I ever heard. Granberry.
This situation were to be real. Look, we've been following.
That's why the nigga named DDG.
Halle Bailey for the
See,
past
it's all making sense now.
There's one thing that I do know is that this is more complex than has led to believe. There's been so many situations with Halo being allowed on the stream, off the stream, getting reunited, potentially to him for, you know, because the baby was sick. There's so much that goes on in these relationships that it's hard to follow. And I'm telling you, the relationships are some of the most complicated things. But what adds to it is when public people have public relationships, and now the court of public opinion gets the opportunity to make their opinions on said relationships. Now, what I've seen for the past couple of months is people do and say some of the weirdest things when it comes to their relationships.
I see you trying to defend her. That's a good move, by the way, but let me tell you what happens next. If she can't paint you as a deadbeat dad, which you're not, I'm gonna warn you this. The next step is for her to say you were abusive. I want to be very clear. And she just tried, yo, why is my baby dad doing that? And I don't approve of it. And nobody bit. And unless you about to get back with her and go into whatever regime she wants you to get down with, her next attempt will not be as fluky. Women like this don't stop. You've dodged this one, but you gotta wait for the bigger one she about to do.
That was academics reacting a couple months ago when Halle Bailey took to the internet and galvanized her own audience for the behavior of DDG taking, you know, Halo, his son, onto Kais in that stream, claiming that this was, you know, bad or whatever the case may be. She was totally wrong in that situation and even admitted that she was wrong in that situation. But the way that people were reacting, how academics made that jump and leap is insane. I know people will potentially circle back to this in a couple months ago and these whole, oh, it was so predictable warning signs. Look, we can't keep doing that. That gives validity to these conversations. We've got to stop. We don't know these people.
Want to hear that fundamental ass response?
Imagine if you have like a BM, nigga, and you gotta pay her rent, nigga.
She taking niggas over there, you gonna be cool with it?
No.
You gonna stop paying the rent?
Duh, nigga, what the fuck you
What
mean?
about the kid? The kid gonna be homeless.
No, the kid not. See, I don't plan on having a baby mama.
What you mean? You don't never.
I'm not gonna have no baby
Ooh,
mama.
he ain't playing. He ain't playing on
a
it.
kid with, she's with me for life.
For life?
Yeah.
I don't care what nobody say. I don't care what nobody.
It all starts like that.
That's exactly how you think, nigga.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Sometimes the kid break y'all up, bro. Sometimes the kid be the reason y'all break up.
Now, I don't think that Blueface was giving any sort of prediction as to his current relationship with Halle at the time. I think he was just more so having, man talk. We talk about things like that. Hey, what's going on in your relationship? What would you do in this hypothetical to see, et cetera, how you would handle it? But I think that a lot of people attributing this to them being some sort of Nostradamus are only saying this because they have their own feelings about Halle Bailey. I know that there are some people that hate these billionaire relationships. They're
Halle Bailey might be. I don't think that
these people should be with any women or any family or whatever the case may be. But they are just.
I ain't know about her to the blue.
I wish
Black
more
Little
people
Mermaid.
would be like DDG's sister. Like, this is his actual sister, TT. When asked about the situation yesterday, I hate that we have this much insight too. I promise you, we should not care this much about this relationship. I cannot stress that enough.
I've already seen the TMZ post, and I'm not gonna speak on it. So
that's his sister.
I'm way more concerned about what they were eating than what she was saying. What was that?
Hey.
A big pancake taco?
Hey.
I think there's a lesson in all this. Concerned.
And I'm not gonna speak.
Ooh, what the fuck? Ew, fucking eats.
On it. So yeah.
I'm way more concerned about what they were eating.
That's just terrible.
What was that? A
bro.
big pancake taco? I think there's a lesson in all this. We've seen in the past couple of years when people get into
how you that rich, but like your food,
there are complexities
you consuming
that
that
are
ass.
grasp.
Niggas don't got chefs.
Onlookers, whether it be the relationship with Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, Jonathan Majors and Grace Jabari, Meg Thee Stallion and Tory Lanez, and now DDG and Halle Bailey. A lot of those
that Megan Thee Stallion was crying because she fell off.
People getting shot at, fights, words being thrown, people going back to these situations that seemed to be toxic for a long time. Ultimately, they came to this precipice. At the end of the day, us as public consumers should not be the ones that are parasocial as hell, butting into these relationships.
Niggas gonna do that either way,
making sweeping judgments.
That's how niggas always is.
People on the internet thrash DDG for the longest time over the past couple of months, and now feel
I seen a TikTok. It was like, it was some DEO niggas, and they was celebrating because DDG allegations. And I ain't gonna. That's probably why I reacted to this. I ain't gonna lie to you. Actually, I ain't gonna lie. Bruce come back, bro. I will be tuning in. See, Soul Illuminati came back. Life, I ain't gonna lie. Life first, like content creation, like music. That shit looking up, bro. It's been a lot of good like music and videos. Actually, a lot of YouTube. I ain't gonna lie, YouTube kind of dying though. Like the main shit I be watching is just like streams, but like only like the video forms of streams. Like it been such a minute that I'd even just watch the nigga just randomly play the game. Oh, never mind, I lied. Corey. That's it, to be honest. It's only the streams and Corey and some fucking like anime videos, bro. That's it.
There's this initial restraining order. Now this gives them the freedom to say whatever they want to say. Like I think that shit is totally out of pocket, especially with the limited knowledge that we do know. Now look, Halle Bailey has made claims. There is photo evidence, and there has to be a reason that the judge granted the restraining order. Fine. If you want to take
things ain't looking good for Daryl.
Starting to bring in Woo Wop into this situation.
I forgot about Woo Wop. What's that little nigga doing?
Judgments of character when you do not know him is strange to me. The people on the other
like
side claiming that Halle Bailey is a part of the Rock Nation collective.
That shit made me mad from the end of the video. That thought just made me mad.